Welcome back to SwitchStars and to the wonderful world of Midnight Works scam games. My name's Luke, and today on the channel we're delving into another one of those sales titles which are far too good to be true, and by far too good I mean absolute shite of course. On the cards today though we have a beat 'em up game, which being the creative folks that they are, Midnight Works have ingeniously titled Beat Them Up, or to give it his full title, Beat Them Up Box Simulator, Boxing Battle Fight Combat for Nintendo Switch Ultimate 2023. Now, I'm writing this intro before I've even played the game, and going by the track record, this one's going to be absolutely horrendous, but if you're looking for some decent beat 'em ups on the Switch, go check out my 60 of the best beat 'em up games list, which I've linked down below. But without further ado, drop a like if you enjoy this one, subscribe for more Switch reviews and content, and let's get started. So immediately from the main menu we see that Midnight Works are up to their old tricks of stealing artwork and assets from other games, as we get a cameo from Terry Bogard of Fatal Furious staring us in the face, which with a quick reverse image search on Google we can see was stolen from Deviant artist TopDog4815. That aside though, other than some simple settings, we have the option to start the game, which will then take us to a level select menu featuring 4 stages, 3 of which happen to be locked, but if you spam click any of the locked ones it'll actually load you into stage 3, which is a fantastic feature as it means you get to skip at least half of this shit show. But starting off from level 1 we get this street scene. And it's worth noting that the game has been created using a Unity asset called Beat 'em Up Game Template 3D, a beat 'em up game creator of which this is the included demo stage. The tool itself contains an easy to use interface and a bunch of cool features including a 2-player mode, but there was clearly too much work involved in implementing that feature, and if I'm being honest, I'd be ashamed to play this one alongside a friend who would probably beat me up and then no longer be a friend. Anyway, the gameplay in this one is your classic beat 'em up format of working your way through levels, beating down enemies who, thanks to there being no storyline, appear to have beef with you for no reason whatsoever, before culminating in a boss fight. And I'm a huge fan of beat 'em up games, with Streets of Rage being one of my all-time favourite games, but rather expectedly, you won't find any of the charm or enjoyment in this one that a classic beat 'em up offers, and instead we get a complete fucking travesty of a game, which even I could have shat out in about 5 minutes flat. Now, taken from an asset pack, the controls and combat are actually pretty decent, with you able to pull off combos of punches and kicks and perform running attacks and jump kicks, but it's bare bones stuff designed to be built upon, which the developers have inevitably failed to do. The asset pack also features a wave system for them to utilise, allowing them to spawn in various kinds of enemies and keep things interesting, but they couldn't even manage that, and every single level in the game follows the same format. You fight 2 guys, proceed forward, fight 3 guys, proceed forward again, and then, you guessed it, fight 4 guys, all of which are dressed in the same convict getup and pose very little threat, taking around 5 or 6 hits to take down, and I even saw one guy wandering around with what appeared to be a fucking metal drinking straw, which I presume was supposed to be a weapon of sorts, but was about as intimidating as a limp dick. The boss battles are undoubtedly the most challenging aspect of the game though, not because they offer any interesting mechanics for you to contend with, and more for the fact that they're absolute punch sponges and hit like trucks, and in the second and third levels you'll go up against 2 of them at once. But the most frustrating aspect of these fights is the way in which the bosses constantly block, and when you knock them down, have a habit of instantly teleporting to the feet and getting sly digs on you. But like the rest of the enemies, you're able to cheese them by simply mashing your kick button over and over until they're dead. The most piss-boiling aspect of the game though definitely has to be the terrain collision, as walking too close to the top or the bottom of the screen will result in your character stopping dead and being unable to move, leaving you open to getting an absolute arse pounding from the enemies. And this minor oversight led to me dying several times, as the boss's attacks can drain your health bar in about 3 or 4 hits. Now, spoiler alert, once you beat the final bosses in the game, in true Midnight Works fashion, you're kicked straight back to the main menu without any fanfare, and if you so wish can opt to play through the game again. Though, in all honesty, I'd rather beat off my dad than waste another second beating up convicts. Now, the developers have attempted to spice things up a bit in the game by including a few different weapons for you to snack, including knives, bottles, metal pipes, bricks and even guns, and there are also a few health pickups in the form of bananas, which are a healthy option to say the least and can help you out in a pinch, but unlike Streets of Rage, none of these really add any value to the game. On the audio and visual front, the graphics have a cel-shaded look to them, attempting to imitate the visuals found in Streets of Rage 4, which actually doesn't look too bad, and the level designs are also pretty decent, but the game's audio is fucking awful. We get some bog standard sound effects, with things like bottles and metal pipes all making a wooden bat sound when you hit someone with them, and the music consists of 2 5-second loops, which the game has the courtesy of switching between for the level and boss sections, but which will no doubt drive you insane after about a minute of listening to them. Like all Midnight Works games though, the shop description spouts a load of bollocks, talking about fighting the city's gangsters, engaging in combat against large numbers of enemies, and performing special moves, and of course none of these are present. But at least for once the screenshots are accurate, which is a step in the right direction I suppose. All in all though, it's another piece of shit of a game from a piece of shit publisher and was no doubt thrown together in less than a week. But if you want to know more about Midnight Works and see reviews of some of their other shitfests, then I suggest checking out my Scam Games playlist. That though is about it for this one. Nothing else left to say other than stay the fuck away from it and don't waste a penny on it regardless of how low that asking price drops. As always though, if this one helped you out, do me the honours of dropping a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more. But until next time, thanks once again for watching, take care of yourselves and game on.